The world is changing now, maybe faster than it has ever changed before, and we need to keep our eye on those changes. My name's Graeme Codrington. I'm your tour guide to the future, and over the next few weeks I want to introduce you to what our team calls the grey elephants. What we mean by that is that we live at a moment where there are actually a number of really highly probable and massively impactful forces that a lot of people are ignoring. They're like an elephant sitting in the corner of the room. Nobody talks about it, nobody mentions it, and yet it's there and it could have a huge impact on us. So over the next few weeks, I want to take you through the 7 grey elephants that our team at Tomorrow Today talks about. You can see them here behind me. The first of those is aging. We are living longer than we've ever done before. People are living longer lives, are being healthier and younger longer, and that is elongating our various life stages. So people are getting married later than ever before and having children later, if actually having children at all. They're working longer, having more jobs and careers than they've ever had before. An aging world. The second is the angry planet, and I suppose that speaks for itself, except we're not just speaking about the threats and the things that are going wrong. Part of thinking about these grey elephants is that we also need to be thinking about the opportunities. The $1.5 trillion that has been allocated for climate responses by governments and companies all around the world, for example. The third of these grey elephants is what we call multipolarity. And this is the shifting geopolitical realities of the world. No longer is America the one single dominant player. Of course, we know that China and Russia are sitting there as major competition to America, but the geopolitics of the world is shifting dramatically at the moment, with new alliances emerging and new potential conflict areas coming to the fore as well. Big squeezes is the fourth of our elephants, and this has just got to do with basically everything feeling a little bit tougher and harder than it's been before. And that's got to do with individuals and their expectations around the world they live in, feeling exhausted a lot of the time, having the pressures of cost of living and inflation pressures coming in. But it's also the big squeezes, the big squeeze of productivity, the big squeeze of efficiency, the big squeeze of how the world works. Once we've had a look at big squeezes, one of the things causing some of those squeezes, but also providing some solutions, is intelligent advances. And here we've been a little bit cheeky with the label, because that's IA rather than AI. And of course, so many people are focused on AI, artificial intelligence, at the moment, but this goes well beyond just a few technology apps, which at the moment aren't really AI anyway. But it's what are all of the intelligent advances in the world that are going to change the world in the very near future, maybe some that we're not thinking about. Then we have a look at inequality, wealth inequality, the distance between the ruling class and the labor, the distance between the employed and unemployed, the distance between the rich and the poor. These have never been greater than they are now, and history tells us to be aware and beware when those divides get too big. And then finally, angry people. If everything else is stressful, then it's not difficult to see why people are angry, and more people being on strike than they've ever been on before. The divide between people may be bigger than it's ever been before. There are a lot of other things that are forces shaping our world. There are a lot of other disruptions coming our way. But we believe that these 7 focus areas, these 7 great grey elephants sitting there waiting to be noticed, are hugely impactful, and a lot of companies are not taking them seriously enough. So I'm going to show you what we mean, giving you examples of each of them, identifying some of the threats, but then also, most importantly, having a look at the opportunities that each of these 7 disruptive forces has for you and your business if you are ready to seize the moment that we find ourselves in. I'm your tour guide to the future. Stick with me. We'll work out what's going on together.